Good morning, everyone. So, I'm only going live for a few minutes today just to go over a couple things. Sorry, the sun is kind of washing me out here. So, we wake up and find out that we are in a conflict or at war with Iran. And I think it was expected if anyone's been paying attention to the military movement we've been putting our troops in place for a few weeks now, and it was only a matter of time before the order was given. And that happened in the middle of the night last night. Trump made his speech and announced that we're going to war with Iran. But he necessarily didn't say. It was interesting the way a lot of it was worded. Because at the end, if you listen, he said, they're freeing the Iranian people and he's encouraging them to take their country back. So it's like removing the deep state so the Iranian people can protest and take the country back, right? That's like the liberation of that nation, and all the Iranian people, if you watch the videos, they're celebrating whatever. I'm not here to cover all the surface level stuff because that's being done everywhere on X. You can't open your phone and not see something. I just wanted to bring a few things to people's attention because I just see everyone is like, there's no emotional intelligence here whenever stuff like this happens. Like, of course, we can't control how people respond, but we can control the way we respond to certain situations. And that's what I see happening right now. So, like, unmanaged emotions smother critical thinking. So whenever you allow yourself to have knee-jerk reactions to what you see happening on the world stage, you can just throw your critical thinking out the window. And I see that happen a lot. And a lot of people are just, throwing in the towel. They've given up hope. But I'm also thinking to myself, like, if we're still believing the cover stories and the official narratives in 2026, we've learned absolutely nothing. And that's really, really important to understand. First of all, a cover story is literally that, a cover story. It's not, they're telling you that they're lying to you. It's a cover story, coverage of the truth, right? Covering up the truth. So I see people acting like what they're hearing on the surface is the real reason for the conflict, right? I just don't understand the level of thinking here. Like, we have to think there's obviously more going on behind the scenes that we will ever know about. And the public explanation that we get is most likely not the explanation. It's not really why. There might be some elements of truth in that, but what's really behind that is a much deeper war. In fact, this is a war. Like, a lot of people say Trump is like supposed to be the peace president, and instead he's starting war. In fact, I like what David Nino Rodriguez said the other day. He's not starting war. He's ending these generational wars. They've been going on forever. And there has been a lot happening in Iran for a long time, including stuff that, President Obama, in fact, I'll just read this from a Twitter post I saw. Probably the most important one. I remind you that Obama literally funded Iran's black budget nuclear program that was paid for with billions of dollars in cash on pallets involving multiple currencies under the guise of settling a former debt. Read that again: in cash, multiple currencies. All roads lead to Obama. Do not forget that. So there's been stuff happening. I only bring it up because there's been stuff happening in Iran for a long time. And I'm not going to pretend like I know what's going on, because I don't. But what I do want people to understand is that there is a much deeper reason for this. Trump said we are not doing this for now, but our future. What if this ultimately leads to something better? Like, we go deep on this channel, right? So we've talked many times about the Q operation and Project Looking Glass and this timeline viewing technology. What if they've seen the future? Like, what if this is the highest probability of the best possible outcome? What if we don't understand? Like, everyone wants to think they know what's going on, but we really don't. What if this all absolutely leads to something much better in the future, and we just can't see it now because we're in the fog of war? I think it could absolutely lead to something much better. The inevitable liberation of the entire planet. And the thing where I understand why people are upset, but also people are going to be upset if you don't do anything. Like, it's a lose-lose situation no matter who you are in politics. Somehow people liked, if they were happy with Biden and that administration and what was done, and they're upset about what's happening now. Either way, people have been complaining the entire time about something. So if you do nothing, people complain. If you do something, people complain. So you can just throw that out the window and understand that the people at the top are not trying to please you or anyone, and the truth doesn't care about your feelings. So I'm just trying to help people understand that there are much, much deeper reasons for everything that's been happening right now that we've been seeing on the world stage, including Iran and Israel and all that stuff. And I know everyone thinks that Trump is in bed with Israel, and that's probably true. He's probably, Art of War, he said many times that's his favorite book. And what do? You keep your friends close and your enemies closer, right? There could be a ulterior motive. There could be, Israel could be next for all we know. I'm not saying that I know anything. I'm just saying we have to think outside the box here. But we're going to get into some even deeper, more interesting stuff. So this happens on a 6-planet alignment, which is very interesting. And Lily Nova, if you know who she is, I was talking to her this morning, and she brought up the fact that in the movie Hercules, when the planets align, a prophecy is fulfilled that allows Hades to release the imprisoned Titans. This celestial event creates a vortex that removes the barriers surrounding the Titans' underwater prison. With the Titans free, Hades plans to overthrow Zeus and take over Mount Olympus. So that's in the movie Hercules. There's no coincidence. There's absolutely no coincidence that this attack, this strike, happened on the 6-planet alignment. I mean, let's just think outside the box here. What if this 6-planet alignment actually was a celestial event that creates a vortex that removes a barrier and allows these Titans to come from Hades, right? What if they knew something like that was getting ready to be released in Iran, and they put troops in place to keep that at bay, right? And to stop that before it takes over the planet, whatever. Like, we have to think in biblical terms here. And, if we want to get into giants and stuff, we all know that the Epstein files basically proved that the Hillary Clinton and the Gilgamesh resurrection chamber and the burial sites of the Nephilim, it's all real. And why would Hillary Clinton and those people be interested in the Nephilim and these giants and these Gilgamesh, this resurrection chambers and all that stuff, unless there's actually something to it? So what if somehow the 6-planet alignment has something to do with these resurrection chambers? I can't talk this morning. And there's a much deeper reason behind what's actually going on. And I know for a fact it has a lot to do with advanced weaponry, extraterrestrial technology, potential stargates. I mean, you can find theories all over the internet about what's really underground in Iran and what they have as far as advanced weaponry goes. So there's a lot. Sorry, I'm not reading any of the comments right now, guys. I'm just kind of going through some notes. But I do think that this 6-planet alignment absolutely has something to do with the reason we struck today. And it could have something to do with something as crazy as a prophecy of a celestial event that creates a vortex that removes a barrier and allows these demons to come out, these giants to be resurrected, whatever it is. We have to, I don't care really what the cover story is saying, because I know it's just a cover story. I think that, like I said in the beginning, if we still believe the official narrative, we've learned absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I see people getting triggered about it, like as if it's the truth. So just stuff to remember. There's always a deeper meaning behind everything, and Q said the end isn't for everyone. And I do believe that's the case. I don't think everyone's going to widely accept the truth, because the truth is dark and dirty, and it's not. And you find out this planet is not what we thought it was. The people running this planet are not who we thought they were. In fact, they're not even people. Everything that was supposed to be a myth or legend or fairy tale is real. It's all inverted, right? We've been given surface level history for a long time. So whenever we go to conflict with these other nations, there's other things at play that we may never learn about. We have to keep that in mind. But I just want to remind everybody to not emotionally react to this stuff, because obviously the demons will take advantage of a situation like this, and people that have no emotional intelligence and they're just lashing out right now, they're literally taking the bait and being loose harvested. Absolutely, that's 100% happening. So, like I said earlier, we can't control how everyone responds to global events, especially something like what's happening right now. But we can control how we respond. And we have to start thinking outside the box and understanding that emotional intelligence is critical right now. We can't just be throwing our emotions around like a fire hose, because we lose control of ourselves. And then we are literally giving consent for whoever is out there trying to pull the strings behind the scenes to control us. So we have to keep that in mind. And I just wanted to hop on, just say good morning, and just kind of throw a few thoughts out there just for people who might not understand. I understand I don't know. Also, I don't know what's going on. I don't have the truth. I'm not going to pretend like I do. But I just want to help people understand that there is something deeper here. Don't believe the cover story. We are not being told the truth about what's really being fought for in Iran, because the stuff that's being fought for is not supposed to exist. And maybe we'll learn about it one day, but certainly not today. Certainly not today. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff I can get into about, what is really happening. Right now, Observing Consciousness on X says, breathe, this is not World War III. This is the liberation of Iran. And it kind of breaks it down. And people don't want to believe that. A lot of people think that, this isn't what we voted for. But like I said earlier, if you do nothing, people complain. If you do something, people complain. They're not trying to please you. They understand what's at stake. They understand the level and depth of this war. They understand what needs to happen. And it's not going to make sense to anyone. It's simply not going to make sense to anyone, because we don't have all the information. We simply don't. And there are so many narratives and so many things going around right now that I can get into. We're not at a place right now to get into all of that stuff, because it's still in the heart of it. Oh, also, this is another point I want to make. A lot of the videos, and a lot of them already, are not even real war footage. In fact, right away, one of the first videos I saw, because Trump made this speech in the middle of the night. It was 1 a.m. where I'm at. And immediately, there's this video going around, and I thought, oh shit, this is intense. Holy shit. And then it turns out that it's footage from a video game. It's not even war footage. And yeah, it was nighttime here, and the footage was nighttime, but really in Iran, it was the middle of the day. So I finally looked into it, and oh shit, this isn't even a real video. And then a number of them aren't even real videos. So we have to keep in mind that the Jack Hughes is real. Are you talking about the hockey player? That's interesting. But we just have to keep in mind that a lot of what we see going around right now is not real. Is not real. And I do personally believe that there is a higher plan in place, and everything is going according to plan. Things change in the fog of war, but I think the highest timeline is underway. I know is unpopular opinion. People want to be mad at somebody, and they like that somebody to be Trump or the administration or whatever the case is. We just don't know. Also, there's another narrative going around that I think actually came from Pam Bondi. I'm not sure. I have to fact check it. But apparently the original Epstein tapes were split up amongst 3 different countries. And some of the original damning evidence, the tapes that basically expose a lot of the key players in this game, are underground somewhere in Israel. I mean, not in Israel, I'm sorry, in Iran. So maybe we're trying to gain access to the footage, the evidence, so something can actually be done because, we just saw Hillary and Bill Clinton basically just get in front of everybody and literally lie through their teeth like the demons that they are, and just like the audacity of these sociopaths to just think that they can, like they actually believe their own lies. It's absolutely insane. But just lying through their teeth that they have nothing to do with it, there's nothing going on, and like Hillary, like actually claiming that there's nothing to Pizzagate when all the evidence has been released in the Epstein files. Like these people are actually insane. Actually sick, like Trump says. This can be a whole long episode. I have plans today, so I can't actually sit on here for too long. I just wanted to chime in and just share some thoughts and remind everybody, cover stories are cover stories. They are covering up the truth. It's not the official narrative is not the truth. There's things happening that we may never understand. So I guess I'll see if there's any comments. I'm mad because we can't trust anyone to tell us the truth. Absolutely, we cannot. That's why we have to become our own BS bullshit detectors, right? And that's why, if you really want to understand, if you really want to be effective in the spiritual war, you have to do the shadow work. You have to go inward, and you have to get to know yourself. Because if you don't know yourself and how your body responds to the truth or deception, then you're always going to be manipulated. You're always going to fall for the lie. You literally have to get to a point where you can feel what the truth feels like. You have to know what your body does when it hears the truth, and you have to know what your body does when it hears a lie. And you don't need to ask people or have something fact checked, because your body is automatically going to tell you if there's truth or deception happening, right? So we have to keep that in mind. So no one out there is going to tell us the truth, because no one actually knows the truth. The truth is well, first of all, the waters have been so muddied right now. Not one group, person, individual has the truth, the whole truth. Like, it's going to come from gathering data points and connecting the dots. So, yes, somebody said, I am owing light, said, splitting is happening. Hold the light to vibrate your reality. Yeah, and that's another thing, too. We're seeing a bifurcation right now of different... Like, I think we're on one solid timeline, but I think we're seeing a split within the people, right? And there's going to be, two sides to that coin. And, there's the doom and gloom, black pill crowd that thinks that we're just inevitably fucked and there's nothing we can do. And they're just perpetuating their own victimhood, and they're creating their own problems and blaming other people for their own problems. And then we have the people that are really actually taking this spiritual war seriously and doing the shadow work, doing the spiritual work, rising to the occasion, stepping into their light, seeing the higher perspective and understanding that liberation of the planet is inevitable. So there's two ways to view what we're experiencing right now. And, your beliefs create your reality to an extent. So if all you do is focus on the dark timeline and the negative dystopian future and only see the negatives and everything, then you're going to see more and more of that. Your algorithm is going to feed you that, and you're literally going to manifest situations in your life that keep you down in that lower frequency. And it's the opposite. It's exactly the same for the positive mindset. You can create more positive things. You can see the silver lining in events like this. And I'm looking right now here at my screen. I know a lot of people want to say the Q operation was a psyop. I think it gets vindicated every day. And one of the deltas that I'm seeing right now is 5 years ago. Basically, this was a Q post said, today, evil lost control, leverage of Iran. Today, POTUS took control of Iran, and this is what people call a delta. So it's like lining up with what's happening today, as if like this whole thing has already happened. This is, time travel technologies involved. This is a timeline war, and they've always known this was going to happen. And that's why, if you watch the way these people move and the things that they say, it doesn't really take that much thinking outside the box to understand, oh, this person has seen the future. They know what's going to happen. There's a certain confidence to the moves that they make that you couldn't have. It's like you couldn't have unless you know the outcome, right? There's an upper hand. You can clearly tell that the light has an upper hand in this war, and like they're basically baiting the dark into these traps, and it's hilarious because they keep falling for it because they're not connected to source, and they think the rest of the world thinks like them, and it's pretty much like hilarious whenever you see these people. They're so easily they think they're smart, and they are evil geniuses until you see the trick, and then it loses power over you. So once you see the trick, then you could start to use their own tactics against them, and they fall for it hook, line, and sinker every time, and they've just been exposing themselves the entire time. I mean, there's so many other things to talk about, like, the people that we see on camera on the world stage are not who we think they are anyway. If we saw Jim Carrey the other night, it's like a whole different guy, body double, looks like a mask. It's just definitely not Jim Carrey anymore. People are saying the same thing about Demi Moore and others. We've been knowing that about Biden. Erica Kirk, there's a whole thing there. And during the State of the Union address, I actually thought it was amazing. Trump likes to put people in a spotlight so they expose themselves. And he's been doing that for years. And with Erica Kirk, it's really interesting because he brought up Charlie Kirk, and the whole world they put the camera right in her face, and the whole world got to see her fake ass tears. Absolutely fake, sad. It was all fake, just fake tears, fake emotion. She literally doesn't care about Charlie, like not even a morsel, in my opinion. And then right after that, he highlights somebody next to her, standing directly next to her, who actually lost a family member. And they put the camera on her face, and we got to see what real emotion and real grief looks like. And that's what we connect with that. And people got to see, like, oh, like Erica's fake as shit. And this is what it really looks like. So situations are being put in place so we can see the truth. We can't be told, because if you tell somebody something, they don't want to believe it. They got to learn the hard way. The humans like to learn the hard way. That's just where we're at. So, unfortunately, we'll send some prayers, because there are going to be casualties. People are going to lose their lives today and are losing their lives. And that's not what we want. But at the end of the day, there's casualties in every war. There's always going to be casualties, no matter which way you run it through the program. Like, I don't think we're ever going to get a scenario where we just go over to Iran and say, you know what, we've been fighting for too long. Here's a beer, let's have a drink, and let's just talk this out. Like, we're so far beyond that, for one, because we're not dealing with humans, like I said in the previous video. This is a level of evil that we can't comprehend, because it's not coming from a human. Like, these people are reptilians, and there's a lot of other extraterrestrials here also, but they're not human, and they don't think like us, and that's why we can't understand. When the average person hears about the level of evil, they don't understand how someone can be that evil. Well, we're not talking about someone, we're talking about something that is not human, that doesn't think like us, that doesn't care, that doesn't act from the heart. They don't have a moral compass. They don't have emotional intelligence. They have an agenda, and that's all there is to that, So, multitude layers of mind-controlling sentences that locks them into that prison sentence. Yeah, lots of mind control. Anyway, I don't have the whole picture. I don't have the truth. I just want to provide a new perspective for people and help people think a little deeper. Like, you got to dive deep, but you got to zoom out at the same time and look at it from a bird's eye view and understand we don't have all the puzzle pieces. We don't have all the information. So we have no right to be emotionally reacting to this stuff that we just simply don't understand. We have to keep our emotions in check. We have to find that still point. We have to be a guiding compass for the other people around us who aren't there yet. So I just want to remind everybody that I ultimately think that we are still on the highest timeline. I think this could inevitably but I think it will inevitably lead to a much brighter future. So I think that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Have a great day, everyone, and I will talk to you next time.